Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be giving a quick review of the DLC pack, How Rush Saved Mercenary Day, the very first bounty pack for Borderlands 4, which was free and comes with 7 different items that are added to the game. Now this has one whole new area, there's a boss that you can repeat, and the weapons are pretty fun here, like this one here which adds a bunch of stickies that'll home in on the enemy, and then you use this laser here to explode them. It's actually a pretty cool weapon. Now I do want to acknowledge it's nice that they made this free. They got a little bit ambitious, and I think due to the amount of patches and updates they added to the game, so this wasn't as big as they wanted it to be, so they gave it away for free, and they're adding another 5th bounty pack. And quickly, bounty passes are likely just going to be like around 24 cosmetics, a few items, and a boss fight, a separate area, whereas story packs like the new update adding cash and the Mad Ellie in the Vault of the Damned add much more content. You do get this vault card here. Here's the 4 re-rollable weapons. They said there was only 4 weapons, but there's actually 6. There's 2 from the bosses as well, and then 1 rep kit. Now, I found the Rooker's really cool. It's actually a reference to Michael Rooker and Guardians of the Galaxy. It works like Yondu's gun, which I'll show off a little bit later. I also really like the missile laser, which we saw there. And then there's a bunch of cosmetics. I think they're pretty nice. They're festive. These ones here are all right, and they have some of the different skins that you can put on your character applied to them as well. I think they're all right. I think the reindeer one's probably my favorite. And the character skins themselves are pretty nice too. I also like the different weapon skins you get here. My favorite being this one here. It kind of just looks like an ugly sweater. And then there's also some ones for your ship. My favorite being this snowy one here, the Frosty Reception. This missile laser is actually pretty strong with firing off multiple stickies, and they deal a good amount of damage that we explode with the barrel, with the laser on the barrel. So you have these stickies that home in on an enemy here, so you just shoot them off like that. And then it's going to switch to the laser, and the laser will basically just explode them like that, so you can take out enemies fast. And it can also be used as a laser, although its damage isn't really crazy. It's meant to be used with the underbarrel attachment. Now, the Rooker is my favorite. It's a reference to Michael Rooker and the Guardians of the Galaxy Yondu for daddies, not fathers. What it does is it gets an underbarrel here, which has the needle launcher, and it's really powerful. So basically, you shoot the needle launcher out, and then it has this needle that's just going to follow around wherever you aim. Again, similar to Yondu's weapon in the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's really cool. It's also an order weapon, which I don't love, but it has a charge up to 5, and if you got certain enhancements, this can be really powerful. So I got this one here, which gives 50% accuracy, burst fire speed, and 30% extra damage when firing from maximum charge, which is pretty powerful. We also got the hard point, which is interesting. It may be good against certain bosses, maybe later on, like very large ones, because it shoots in a very interesting spread. It's like the most well optimized at like 50 meters range. I think that's kind of where we're shooting from. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to use because of that, because if you're getting close, you're going to be shooting like that. So not likely going to be something that's used unless the boss is literally like the size of that rock there. Now, the 2 new boss weapons are kind of interesting. The Inscriber, which again could be another one that may be interesting later on or with certain characters, and the Rowdy Rider Jacob's Assault Rifle, which is similar to a gun we already have in the game. Now, with this one here, the Inscriber, it has a special ability, Effigy, which allows you to shoot it shoots 4 projectiles behind the enemy when you hit an enemy. So it's like a piercing round. What you do is you shoot like that, and then like the target behind you is going to get hit with the damage as well. So I can see it being a decent weapon if there's like something like the bunker boss in Borderlands 2 where the bullets go through and hit it multiple times. It likely won't be that powerful outside of weird glitchy things like that, but there's potential there. They may be buffing these weapons too. Like yesterday we got, or 2 days ago, we got a buff to 75% to certain guns damages. So yeah, it could happen. But the Rowdy Rider is the one that I like. It has 2 additional ricochet projectiles when you get a critical hit. Jacob's guns are fun. This is going to be a good one for mobbing because when you get that critical hit, you can see there the ricochets, it shoots off 3 bullets now instead of just the 1 that'll ricochet. The damage isn't like fantastic or anything. It's unfortunately not as strong as like the Bonnie and Clyde. It has the same magazine size as the Bonnie and Clyde, but with the Bonnie and Clyde, they can get 150% bonus or extra damage if you kill someone with the shotgun and swap to the AR. So it's way higher damage. This is 1918 on that bullet, 2384. Another thing to watch for with Rowdy Rider is it does have oftentimes a negative critical hit modifier, which means you'll be dealing less overall damage. So you don't want to get those. You can get a lot of them that have a plus to the critical damage. And something like the Bonnie and Clyde just outclasses it quite a bit. So while it is a fun weapon, I just don't see this ending up being like a meta weapon unless they do buff its damage up. It'll always come with cryo damage as well, which is not very great against shields. That's another thing just to keep in mind, which shields are on pretty much every boss in this game. So it could be situational at best, but yeah, I think it's fun. And I think the Vex cosmetics are the best. I really like the jacket with the Christmassy lights on them. And she can have some really cool hair here with the green on that one. And then to receive, he gets the nice blue dye. I think this one looks cool too. And for the actual content itself, you do have to do a little bit of exploring around in the overworld here. There's 3 places you do a delivery to. It takes you like 15 minutes or so of just kind of exploring and just going to different locations. And then you're going to come over here to the Ministry of Culture, a whole new area. And it's pretty much just a reskin like bunker, new appearances here. I think it's a pretty decent location because it was actually pretty to look at. And then it comes into the end here where you have to go fight the bosses. You can repeat this as well. It's one thing I do want to mention. It actually is very repeatable. Another nice thing is that there's little presents all over the world whenever you're going around exploring. So you can pick these up and they'll give you a ton of loot at the end. And it isn't really clear the first time that I went through this, but yeah, you want to go around grabbing them because then you're just going to get a bunch of loot and it is worth grabbing. They give you so much loot. So yeah, again, yeah, it's a reskin, but I do think they made it at least appealing to look at, especially if you're into the holidays. Now, the villain was a little bit annoying. Like, there's a lot of lines, but I think it wasn't annoying enough to, like, be, like, Borderlands 3 main villain bad. It didn't ruin the DLC by any means, but I think it was an okay boss to go against. So it is a reskin fight. So yeah, it's Mr. Screw and Donk there. Nothing too challenging, honestly. It's very reminiscent of the Hammerhead enemies that we go against. And he's very similar to the Timekeeper, but he has a little bit of a different appearance on his attacks. I'll let him do his thing here. Because it's the same attacks that the Timekeeper has, just with a little bit of a festive spin on it. Like, you can see the wreath there on the triangle attack that the Timekeeper does. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad of a final fight overall. Like, I think it was fun, but nothing crazy new. But yeah, very festive theme, which made it fun. But one nice thing is there's actually a bunch of buffs. I did do a full video on all the different changes that were added to the game because they did make some nice updates. They made it so that certain skill trees now work properly like they should. And yeah, just the overall damage on certain builds like Rafa did increase quite a bit, which I think was nice. So yeah, you can see here we're in Ultimate Vault Hunter 5. I'm not really going too hard at it, but the boss itself isn't anything too difficult using the bod here. If you got the Bullet Buddy Deluxe, this makes Rafa really crazy, especially with the Sultana boss. But yeah, that was the boss there. Then once you beat the boss, you're just going to come down here and there's going to be a red chest. And if you play through the entire level, there's going to be a bunch of gifts here that you can smash and get a bunch of loot. The gifts themselves actually drop loot pretty well. And you're going to have 2 different dedicated drops. Now, one thing that I really appreciate is they put dedicated drops in this boss. So those 2 pistols, the pistol and the assault rifle I showed off earlier. But I think it was kind of sweet. And his decorations in this room are kind of cool too. So yeah, it felt nice for the holidays. Now, I guess into some more spoiler topics. There was a lot of Claptrap in this, which was really interesting. And Claptrap actually said something at the very end that caught me by surprise. I'm sure a lot of others that will play this also got caught. I think they're trolling. They say it's canon, but I mean, it's Claptrap saying it. But they talk about a certain character, Pickle, as well as becoming a siren, which they were talking about being the first male siren. So I do think they're just trolling, obviously. It just seems that way. But it was kind of funny to have that just dropped in here. Also, Claptrap singing at you throughout the entire DLC, which I thought was kind of funny. And also talking about copyright-free music, that there's no songs that reference snow that are copyright-free. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But overall, not a bad DLC. Great for the holidays. If you're a fan of Christmas, you'll like it. I'm glad they made this free because if I was to spend $10 on this, I don't think I would have got like $10 worth. But the fact that this is free, it's like it'll give you at least an hour or 2 of content. I don't expect it to be like something that'll give it the game longevity. They need a lot more content pack for the end game, but that is on the way. And we do have an Invincible boss coming next month in December. So I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, I just want to get my thoughts on the DLC. Big fan of Borderlands 4. I think this is the best Borderlands game. I'm a huge Borderlands 2 fan, but I just think there's a lot of really great stuff in here. And the bones are here. I think that the future DLC bounty packs will be better. They did say they will be bigger than this one. So for an hour or 2 of content, I mean, all the cosmetics and stuff I think was pretty nice. So yeah. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below, and I'll catch you in the next one.